Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. This is Tracing Roots, Telling Tales, Tuesdays, Genealogy Tuesdays with Donna. This is episode 6. Let's see here. We left off talking about Bertha Goodwin and her journey from Maine to California and her life. And now we are on to the Goodwins in general. And I am going to show you what my family tree looks like for the Goodwins. I'm hoping that you can see it. Let's see here. I don't know that I can. There we go. Anyway, as you can see, it starts in 1585 when Daniel Goodwin I was born of John Goodwin and Elizabeth Woodgate. Now, I have gone back further than that, but I'm just going to show that. Anyway, I talked about how names were important, names in the family. In the Waltons, it seems to be John Matthew are important names. And I think we have the fourth, John Matthew the fourth, perhaps the fifth. Unclear. I'm not as close with the Walton side of the family as I am the Goodwin, Kate side of the family. Anyway, so what we have is John Walton, John Matthew. We have Daniel. Daniel goes from 1585. He lived to be 1625, so that's not a bad life, not great, but he came to the United States. He had a son at 1620, so his son, the second, or junior, but once you get past junior, it winds up being the third, fourth, whatever. So that's kind of how that happens, and they take liberties with that anyway. So that's kind of how that goes. Anyway, so we have Junior at 1620 being born. He's 5 years old when his dad dies, and then he has a son when he's 36, Daniel S. Goodwin. So he has broken the junior side and the S, and I can't remember what the S stands for. Then past that, we do have siblings, etc., but then we have Miles Goodwin, Caleb Goodwin, and then we have another Caleb Goodwin. So we have a Caleb Goodwin in 1736. We have another Caleb Goodwin in 1772. We have no differentiation except the birth dates and death. So it's who they married or where they were living that would make a difference when you're looking and can find records from the 1770s. Then from there, Randolph Goodwin starts kind of in where I can have information, better information, I guess, without going back east. I can have better information about the Goodwins. We have Henry Clay Goodwin. Then we have Richard Montgomery Goodwin. And then from there on, Bertha married a Richard. And, of course, then they had my grandmother. And then my grandmother had a Richard Montgomery Kate. So that's kind of how the lineage has gone. Daniel was here. The original Daniel from England was here in... he came here in 16... I can't remember when. He was not on the Mayflower, though. He came after the Mayflower. So he was... he wound up being the sheriff in town, but the stories that we found showed that he was probably in the sheriff's office not doing business, but actually in the holding cell. He had a tendency to drink and carouse, and so he was not necessarily the epitome of what a leader of law and order might be. Kind of interesting. I wanted to let you know that this time of year there are usually some sales if you're interested in being able to do genealogy. There are DNA tests that are on sale now, probably through, gosh, what's it called? Something in Me. I can't remember. My Heritage also, Ancestry also. And I wanted to let you know about a Facebook page by the barefoot genealogist Krista Cowan. Krista with a C. I have her name here. I listen to her all the time. She's given me some really good pointers about places to go to look for things, resources to use that I wasn't aware of before. And she's got a Facebook page, so there's past pages that you could look at too. It's Krista, Krista Cowan, Cowan, and she has actually done family genealogy tracing her family, so she can give you pointers about brick walls that she's had and how she's maybe not gotten past them or has been able to get past them with just a glean of information, and then she goes researching. So there are plenty of things to be able to get the information. There are your censuses, except for the 1890 census. It burned, and very few records are left of that. But there are other ways to get that. Newspapers.com, you can get military records through the military website. You can get, there are history websites that you can get the history of what's going on, how they lived in the history that was going on at the time. The military payrolls, I have been able to find people that were in the Civil War. I have found people that were in the Revolutionary War. So that's really cool that they have those kinds of resources that you can actually find somebody that you are looking for and wondering about them. If you only have a date and a death date, perhaps you have a state. Maybe you don't have a state, but they have a unique enough name that you can piece together and then glean bits of information and documentation that flesh out the life that you're looking for. So those are things that you can do. And then, of course, the Ancestry magazine has helped me kind of put to, try and figure out. I think I always knew about the 1920s, but to see the picture of my grandmother, who was always proper, the only time I ever saw a picture of her wearing pants was when she was on the fishing boat. She loved to fish. She always had a dress on, always had her makeup and hair done. And other than this picture from the 1920s, where she was not dressed like a flapper, she was a flapper. With the bobbed hair and the makeup and the dress. It was kind of a very startling to see and then curious as to, it's like, give me a microscope. I want to see what's going on. So it's interesting how we all evolve from our teens on, and how perhaps the era that we're living in also helps to form our consciousness, our appearance, our fashion, etc. I mean, we know from the 60s and the 70s that the way we dress today is different than the way we dressed before. Who didn't have big hair? Raise your hand if you didn't have big hair. I used to have big hair, but, Anyway, so put down in the comments, did you have big hair? Did you dress to the fashion? Did you wear jeans? Did you wear cowboy boots? If you live in certain regions of the country, you probably are more prone to dress certain ways than you are others. If you're rural versus city, you might be dressing different than others. If you're on a farm, you're definitely going to be dressing for work rather than for play or night clubbing, etc. So those are things that I have gleaned, and I will be giving you more information in the new year. I will try and come on New Year's Eve. I've got a lot going on, but I will certainly, the next family branch that I want to just delve into a bit is the Archambaults. They are from Richelieu, France, settling in Quebec, and then coming down into Vermont. So I'll give you a little thumbnail of them. And right now, I will wish you a Merry Christmas Eve and a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah. And hope you have a wonderful day this week. Bye-bye.